Okay, it is May 16th, 5:45 p.m. We're going to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. Present are council members Lang, Barker, Hauser, Marmee, and Labuda sitting in for Hottinger. First item on the agenda was actually scratched. The resolution 2247 was pulled. So therefore, the first item I do want to mention, hold on, I gotta give you the unappropriated balance. The unappropriated balance of the general fund stands at $358,131. The budget stabilization fund stands at $1,145,137. Our first item of discussion is an appropriation request for appropriation amount of $925.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. The fire department sold a piece of equipment on Gov Deals, so they would like to appropriate that money back into their accounts.
Second.
Motion by Lang, second by Barker. Any questions and or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much, Director. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriate, or actually it's legislation establishing a drug law enforcement fund and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. When I took the office of city auditor, this was pointed out in the past. The city, for whatever reason, it didn't get done. So we've jumped on this to get this done. It's 4 fines that when the Newark police, when they're involved in the arrest, whether it be in the city, the county, or even out of the county, fines that are collected, whether it be municipal court, common police court, or any other courts, these fines can come back. We need to make a separate fund within our office for these to come back, and the Newark Police Department can be recipients of these. You'll see on the policy 608 page expenditures that can be made once these funds are recognized, or the police department can use these for investigation costs of complex cases, costs of providing technical expertise, application toward federal matching funds, special equipment, any other law enforcement purpose involving drug-related offenses as determined by the chief of police and approved by the safety director. So I think, in a way this, it's hard to tell what kind of number this could be, but, this could be advantageous for our police department, helping them, fund expenses. And it's also, it's required by the auditor of state. So we jumped on this, we're going to do it. That's the reason for the emergency clause. Be in compliance with the state. And also this is funds that can, come back to our city too, that we're not recognizing right now. So we appreciate your support on this.
Motion by Lang, second by Barker. Any questions and or discussion?
I just wanted to compliment you. Thank you for getting this cleaned up. I think this is a solid move for our departments. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy.
Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign, and that motion passes 5-0. With that, this finance committee meeting stands adjourned. Thank you. Next up is service.
Okay, we'll call the service committee to order. The attendance is Harris, Barker, Kalai. Buddhist, is it for Onager? You want to send it for Rat and Marmion for Rat? First item on the agenda is consider ordinance number 22-17, an ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinance in a resolution as part of the various complex codes of the codified ordinance providing for the adoption of new matter and the update and revised by the ordinance, repealing ordinance and resolutions in conflict therewith and declaring emergency.
I believe this is actually prepared by Am Legal. Yeah, it's the yearly legislation that they do. So anything that we've changed throughout the years since it's been updated will now be updated through the web source.
Motion. Second. Okay, motion by Barker, second by Lucas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. That passes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can you just at least have her explain the emergency?
explain the emergency cost, please.
I'm not sure why they did
It's a deadline.
publishing reason is my understanding for them to meet their deadline. I'm sorry, I didn't get the legislation.
Good.
And you have a good list, I believe, in your packet of
Yeah.
all the things that you guys have done.
Right.
So thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is consider resolution 2249, the resolution authorizing and directing the director of public service of the city of Newark, Ohio to advertise for bids and enter into contract subject to appropriation of funds for construction, sanitary sewer and river road for park trails to Thornwood Drive.
This sanitary sewer we're going to install to eliminate one pump station in Park Trails. This work is being done ahead of the roundabout work out at Thornwood and Reddington. And so this is being funded through the ARP funds. And the estimated cost about $3 million. Design is being completed by Annette Fleming, who is doing the bridge and roundabout work out in that area. And we're anticipating doing that sometime later this year. So it's the authorization to pay attention.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Barker.
Second.
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Roger, what's the timeline for this project once, it goes out to bid, they get approved? What are we looking at as far as?
Still working on that because of some of the maintenance and traffic issues we got to deal with out there. And so it's going to be a 6-month project, but we need to kind of get a better handle as to what we're going to do. Sewers about 25 feet deep in some places. Have to remove the whole road. So maybe some temporary roads or some other things going on out there. So working out the details of that and how that works in conjunction with the roundabout project too, when that gets underway as well. We're kind of at the mercy of ODOT on that. It's their schedule. So yeah, but it should be more than 4 to 6 months of work out there. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Passes. And the last thing on the agenda is consider resolution 2250, a resolution authorizing the Licking County Commissioners to act as the purchasing agent government aggregate for natural gas aggregate program for the city of Newark, Licking County, Ohio.
I'll be happy to speak to that since Director Rhodes is out. This is just another step in the process. You obviously know the team was in here to explain aggregation to us. Probably knowing the numbers or not, this passed by 33 votes. The electric went down by 4 votes. So, but they still have provisionals and excuse me, provisionals and some other ballots for a recount till it's certified. So there's always a possibility we'll be coming back with the electric piece of that, I guess. So, but if you remember, kind of the grouping of everything to put it out for bid is where the cost savings can be, and that's what this piece of legislation will allow.
Motion by Barker.
Second.
Second by Lucas. Do we have any questions? I'm gonna have to abstain from this, so. Because I work for the gas company. I guess. Can you come up to, please?
I'm Rochelle Bowman. I'm Smith, 237 Violet Court. I kind of felt that when we put this up for the vote, that it was not clear what companies were going to be dealt with for this, and it was awfully reminiscent of some things that have been passed in the past that didn't turn out, that turned out to be questionable. I'm really not clear what companies we're dealing with and how this is going to benefit the public. And whether we've been getting things in the mail that are equally vague about who benefits by this, including members of the government. So I do have questions in that order.
Answer some of that?
Sure.
We have to. If you want to have a seat. Sorry, have to. So electric aggregation is included in deregulation years ago. It's just the supply side. As far as I know, you still get billed the similar way, but it'll be that supply ingredient. No one's required to do it. It took this body to allow it to go to the voters to vote for it. It's passed. It will be an opt-in, but you can opt out for free. If you're on energy co-op, you don't have that option anyways, whether it's gas or electric, depending if you're going electric too. So, but you're able to opt out if you don't like it. You can opt out at any time. You can opt out at the beginning. I believe sometimes projected savings, if somebody correct, maybe $100 a year. It's not hundreds of dollars. And what they do, you'll still be working with your normal supplier, I believe, in the billing side. Is that fair? Marmy, I think you agree.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the supply piece of your bill. If you look at your bill, it's kind of divided, and the supply piece. So people will be out negotiating with a big bundle of subscribers saying, we'll give you this business for whatever time, what price can you give us? And they'll be negotiating. We have met and talked with the negotiating side of that, if you want to use it for all terms, and they are very reputable and good. You will get stuff in the mail from companies that may not be. And you know, it's across the board, but again, there's nothing required on that side. There's nothing required on this side. But again, once the opt-in happens, you will get notification of that, and you'll get notification that you can opt out if you'd like to, and that you remain exactly how you are. If you opt in, there's a potential you could have, it locks in a rate for a while. Right now, if you aren't in any contracts, you're not locked into a rate. It will vary each month depending on what the market is. So it can change. And if you think it's better to set and lock in at a rate, obviously it seems like electric and gas prices are going up. It would be when you watch the news, I'd assume. So if but this isn't gonna happen tomorrow. I didn't have that quick. But if you intend to think that they're going up, you can lock in at a lower rate. So again, we had some discussion that number one, it's a reputable company that could be representing us. Number two, it is endorsed by the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. So that same company is being used throughout the state in a lot of ways by a lot of communities. The more communities that get involved with it, the cheaper the price will be. So for council to stand in the way of the voters to have that probably wasn't appropriate, unless we thought it was a company that was not reputable. So the suppliers will vary because it depends on who's going to offer the best price at the end of the day. So anything they want to put in, fine, but that's really where we are. Yes.
I'll clarify just one thing.
Yep.
Everybody's going to be entered in.
Right.
You have to opt out if you do not want to be in. But like I said, it's, the energy co-op is exempt from that. It's.
You're kind of in a co-op already, or
Right,
you're in,
exactly.
that's how the co-op operates differently than AEP. But
There's
there's
no penalty for opting out. There's no repercussions, nothing. It's just, you're automatically enrolled. And then if you don't want in, you have to just tell them and they'll take you out of that enrollment.
the plans in the past, the other one would be an opt-in. That means people have to sign up for it. The problem is no one gets around to doing it, so they never have the numbers needed to get a low enough rate. So when it's opt-out, people will stay in until for some reason they desire not to, but they can opt out at any time with no fee. And that is a critical part of the administration and council to decide that anybody could get out of it for free, no penalties, anytime. Those are critical. Not all companies have that, so. Okay, good, thank you.
Yes.
Rochelle Bowman Smith, 237 Violet Court. Still unclear as to what company's going to be involved in this. Is there any information on that?
Sure. I think you would need to get with, ask that of the county commissioners. They're the ones who came to each municipality with this program, and it's run through their association.
Okay, how do I do that?
You would need to contact them at the county building.
I think they have meetings on Tuesdays,
Tuesdays.
Thursdays at 10 o'clock in the morning. Got one of our meetings.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. And I got to abstain, so one abstention. So with that, that completes the service committee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you take the vote on that ordinance? Did
Huh?
you take a vote on the ordinance, the first thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
You did?
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.